Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's web seminar. I'm your moderator, Mike Perkowski with TechTarget. Thank you very much for joining us for this program. This is the first in a series of 3 webinars on the topic of cloud-based application platforms. And our first one today will focus on architecting an enterprise engagement layer for applications. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank Progress Software for sponsoring this program. We appreciate their support. On our program today, our featured speaker is Twain Taylor, an independent technology analyst. Twain began his career at Google, where among other things, he was involved in tech support for the AdWords team. His work involved resolving issues affecting both customers and the support team and handling escalations. Later, he built branded social media applications and automation scripts to help startups better manage their marketing operations. Today, as a technology analyst, he talks about modern software delivery and the culture and tool chain that enables it. So with that, I'm going to turn the program over to our featured speaker, Twain Taylor. Twain, the floor is now yours.
Thanks, Mike. On the first slide, we look at a few statistics about mobile. The key stat is that mobile users will reach a number of 6.2 billion people by 2023. That's about 84% of the world's population. Not only this, revenue from mobile apps will reach 188 billion by 2021. Now, these are huge numbers, and what it means is that organizations, and particularly enterprises, can't afford to ignore mobile anymore. Enterprise engagement is all about mobile, and we see that increasingly spends are shifting towards mobility solutions and away from legacy applications that need to be maintained despite technical debt. IDC says that through 2018, mobility solution spending will reach $1.6 trillion. When it comes to engagement with mobile, it's not just native mobile applications or mobile-optimized websites, but live chat plays a key role in driving engagement for mobile. As you can see from the chart here, customer response time is much lower for live chat, just 2 minutes, compared to hours for social media or email. And it's this immediate and quick response that customers want. This requires enterprises to take a holistic approach to driving engagement with mobile. There are 4 challenges to building an enterprise engagement layer: time, cost, talent, and integration. Let's look at each of these in some detail. First, time. It takes a good 18 weeks to build a mobile application. Much of this time goes into backend development, which is related to data management. There's also a good chunk of time that goes into front-end development. Now, the more features you add, the more time it takes. But what happens when you need to develop an application in just 4 weeks, when there's a need to release much faster than your normal pace? Can your mobile application development team go at that pace? Do you have the tools and the ecosystem to support that kind of pace? That's the important question to ask. And that's really what's required in today's disruptive ecosystem. Enterprises need to move faster to compete with smaller, more nimble, and disruptive startups in their space. Secondly, cost. Cost is a factor of how complex your application is and how much it costs for mobile developer time. And the range with this is really broad. It could be just a few thousands for a simple app, or it could go up to the millions if we're talking about complex IoT apps. Now, one mistake that a lot of organizations make is they obsess over just the initial creation and setup costs, and they totally ignore the maintenance costs. As Tyler Moore says here, maintenance is typically about 20% of your initial development spend. So this is something you need to keep in mind when you consider the costs for app development. You need to factor in how complex the app is, how much you're paying for development time, and importantly, how much it will cost you to maintain this app in the long run. Thirdly, talent. There's a real shortage of mobile developer talent today. The average salary for a mobile developer is about $107K per year. And this could vary a bit depending on which city you're in. But across the board, we see that there's a huge shortage in the amount of mobile developer talent available and how much organizations need. The reason is when you're talking about mobile developers, there's typically two separate teams, one for iOS and one for Android. And finding developers with specific skills is difficult. For an enterprise, it's even harder to attract top talent. The reason is often systems that enterprises operate with are outdated. And mobile developers typically want to work with the newest platforms, the latest technologies. So as an enterprise, attracting talent is a big challenge. And a key part of it is to have the right kind of platform for mobile development. The fourth challenge is with integration. As we saw earlier, out of the 18 weeks spent to develop a mobile application, most of the time goes into data integration. This is because you need to integrate all of the data in your backend. And not only that, you need to ensure that it's easy for front-end applications to consume this data with really low latency. And this is a complex challenge. On the next slide, we see some more details about the challenges with integration. First, there's issues about how to sync data between the front end and the back end. Then there's a challenge of enabling offline access on mobile devices. This involves data caching. Then there's latency, which can be caused by a slowdown in a database or even by really slow mobile networks. And finally, API sprawl. And this is a result of years of building custom applications that don't really talk well to each other. We discuss the challenges with building an enterprise engagement layer. Now let's look at some possible solutions. There are three options. First, you could hire more developers. Second, you could use an external development team. And third, you could adopt a high productivity cloud platform. Let's look at each of these options. On the next slide, option one, hire more developers in-house. Now, this is not really the answer because a larger development team could bring additional challenges. First, you need to figure out how to really hire mobile developers at scale. And as we saw, this is not easy. And even if you're able to hire a lot of developers, the second challenge is to get them on board and get them to perform well, to get the entire team to coordinate with each other. And that is a whole other challenge. And for these reasons, having a larger in-house mobile development team isn't really the answer. Option two. This is similar to option one, except that instead of hiring developers in-house, you hire an external development team. Now, the problem here is that you lose control of all the fine details of mobile app development. As you can see in this quote from Jeffrey Hammond from Forrester, he says, if you're trying to develop a new mobile application every 2 weeks, or you're trying to very quickly get customer feedback and implement that in your solutions, you need your implementation team local. So outsourcing mobile app development means loss of control, and this is definitely not a solution. On the next slide, we look at option three. Option three is to use a high productivity cloud platform. As IDC says here, 40% of enterprises will save time by adopting a single system to manage all of their devices, endpoints, and policies. And this is going to happen by 2019. So we see a shift from disparate tools to a single system and a single control plane to manage all of the data and devices in an enterprise. And this is key to building an engagement layer for enterprises that's mobile-centric. On the next slide, we take a look at what should you be looking for in a high-productivity cloud platform. Here are some characteristics. First, it should help you unify all of the data in your enterprise. As we saw, much of the time in mobile app development goes into data management. So a high-performing cloud platform should be really good at helping you cut short the data management time. It should also enable you to develop applications faster. It should have predefined application templates and data integration accelerators that you can pretty much take, customize, and start using right away. It should provide support for any enterprise platform and any data store across your organization. And by doing this, it helps you to keep your team small, so you don't need to worry about hiring additional resources, whether that's in-house or external. Finally, a high-productivity cloud platform should be compliant end-to-end. It should build in security and monitoring to give you full visibility. It should be cost-effective. And remember that when we talk about cost, we're also talking about the maintenance cost for a mobile app. A high-performing cloud platform should help you save costs in terms of how much developer resources you need. And finally, it should help you to ship an application really fast. Remember, as we discussed, shipping an application in 4 weeks is a challenge. But if you could do that, how much of an opportunity cost is that? How much would it benefit your business if you could ship an application in 4 weeks rather than in 18 weeks? Let's look at two specific options for a high-productivity cloud platform. First up, Salesforce Lightning. Now, this is a capable platform that really helps cut short development time for mobile apps. And it does this by having reusable components to drive efficiency. It's even available across many editions of Salesforce. And if your systems are already heavily Salesforce dependent, then this is a great option. But beware if you're not really Salesforce dependent. And instead, if you've got other applications that you rely on, like SAP ERP or Oracle, for example. In this case, you'll need to think about data integration between Salesforce Lightning and these other platforms. And for that, you'll need Salesforce-specific resources. You'll need Salesforce developers. So Salesforce has recently acquired MuleSoft to help with data integration. Now, this is a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing because, well, MuleSoft is exclusively focused on data integration. And so its strength is data integration. But on the downside, it's going to take some time for Salesforce and MuleSoft to really iron out all of the integration issues and create a seamless platform. So that's something that you should consider when looking at Salesforce Lightning. It's a really capable platform, but integration could be an issue. A second option for a high-productivity cloud platform is Progress Kinvey. There are 4 reasons why Kinvey is a great choice. First, resource utilization. It lets you use your existing talent. This means you don't need to hire additional developers with specialized skills like Salesforce development or development specific to SAP. Your existing developers can just log in and start using Progress Kinvey to integrate with any enterprise platform. This is because of the kind of data integration accelerators that Progress Kinvey has built in. That's what enables this. Second, Progress Kinvey enables speed. How it does this is by having pre-built application templates that you can simply take off the shelf, customize, and start building an application. And you can really quickly stand up a production-ready application. And this is how Progress Kinvey helps you to ship an application in just 4 weeks rather than 18 weeks. Third, Progress Kinvey is open. It supports pretty much any enterprise platform that you use. This could be SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, Salesforce, ServiceNow, or any platform that you use. It has rich back-office integration and ready-made integration accelerators. Finally, Progress Kinvey is future-ready. It supports any IoT device, and it enables data access to these devices with sub-second latency. Kinvey is a serverless platform. This means you don't need to provision servers, you don't need to configure networking, you don't need to plan for storage. It's all done for you. You can simply log in and focus on building out the best application in the quickest possible time. To summarize all that we've spoken about so far, there are multiple challenges to building an enterprise engagement layer: time, talent, cost, and data integration. But by using a high productivity cloud platform, you can get the advantages of faster time to market, better resource utilization, a lower total cost of ownership, and a much more unified data platform that acts as your single control plane. So don't waste time hiring or outsourcing. Adopt a cloud-native platform that enables high productivity. This is the way to architect an enterprise engagement layer for your applications. With that, we come to the end of this webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. That concludes our program for today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. As I mentioned at the top of the program, this is the first in a series of 3 webinars on the topic of cloud-based application platforms. Please make sure you join us for the other 2 programs as well. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. Have a great day.